Hey guys, and welcome to episode 13 of the Three Meta podcast. We've had a nice Christmas break and we're back chatting some more shit, chatting some more Destiny. So I'm Leighton, and as always, I've got the number one most modest national champ, Danny, and never rolls blanks, James, with me. How are you boys doing?
Yeah, I'm feeling as modest and the best national champion in the world. Really, I'm going to say. Not only am I now the best player in England, but I'm the best national champion. I'll prove it in May.
I'm good. I like not rolling blanks, so you
Cool.
can never feel my anger, so it's nice.
Yeah, I'd never play
No, you
Tarkin.
just feel my anger. Right, anyway, so today we're going to be discussing our prep for the regionals we're going to be attending. We're going to be talking about our current experiences with Legacies, and we've had these cards for quite a while now. And also we're going to have a little discussion about some overlooked cards when it comes to deck building. So there's a regional event coming up in a couple of weeks, which I can't bother to go to, but these two little eggs, they're going to go. So why don't you boys talk about the gauntlet that you've been putting yourselves through?
Go on, James. You can do it.
Well, we've had we know RTPT is good, right? We all know RTPT is massive. We know Qui-Gon Kanan.
Your
Yeah, we know Qui-Gon Kanan's going to be there, and we've basically just been looking at those. Well, those two are the main ones, aren't they? Really, we've done a lot of mirror matches with RTP2 because we think we might be taking RTP2, but I've been looking at some fringe decks as well. So
As is
we've been
tradition.
as
Got
is
to
tradition
play some
because
jank, right? What if it's
well,
good?
that's what I'm going to always ask myself, and I
Yeah.
hate being that guy. But at the same time, I said to the guys that this is a tournament that I'm going to that I've spent 20 quid on a ticket, and it's going to cost us 40 quid to get there. We've got to get up at like 5 in the morning. So at the same time, I kind of want to win for once. I kind of want to be that guy in a way for the first time ever.
It feels pretty good being that guy, by the way.
Can confirm.
As someone who's a multiple that guy, feels
Yeah,
real good.
well,
someone who's that guy on occasion, and normally the runner-up.
feels good.
Yeah,
So yeah, so that's
feels better for me because I'm normally runner-up. So when I am that guy, oh,
Oof.
yeah. So I mean, what else have we been playing? Really, that's it. Really,
Yeah,
isn't it?
like I think I'm pretty on the R2P2 train. Although we'll get onto it in a bit, but that new spice that came out, the Galactic Qualifier over the weekend, we need to do some reps with the OTK Seven Sister deck. So who knows? It could be a last minute change, but yeah, this is for the UKers. This is the older shot national regional.
Yeah.
So if you're
I
heading
keep
down there,
needing
you'll see
national
me and
as well.
James.
Yeah, I kind of want to go because A, you've got to get up at 5 in the morning. B, the meta is so boring.
Look, we
And
just discovered a new deck. It's not boring.
I, yeah, but you're still going to be playing as the same 3 deck.
Oh
So,
yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't understand. I still don't understand why R2P2 is so good. Like Tiny said it very much like he doesn't understand why it's good because you look at it on paper, it's absolute garbage. But somehow it's just the most resilient. It's got so many just amazing cards. Like when you just like, oh, I'm just going to play guard on this +3 off my ancient lightsaber and just
Feels good.
completely nullify your turn. It's like,
Yeah.
Rageaholic.
It's going to be a thing for a while because I played that without any legacy cards against a few of the decks you've been trying out, Leighton, and I mean, he won all 3 of those games. Do you remember?
That's the thing. You broke my almost pretty much undefeated win streak.
With 3 games in a row.
Yeah, like I just was on this hot streak of just like it didn't matter what deck I was queuing in. I mean, well, on Monday's stream against Danny, I lost a couple of games, didn't I?
Yeah, it's just one, I think.
Yeah, I think.
And that was
just
and that was the deck that Jay from Double Blanks gave me.
Oh, that's right, because I was moaning at Jay for giving me a trash deck and ended my win streak. And then I played a few games with worst potato internet against James and just lost all the things. I think R2P2 will get more tools, but I think there's more tools that can deal with it. I think I wasn't. I think I was just rolling absolute garbage. Like I think my Seventh Sister Bobber deck when I played against R2P2, I think it has the tools that tear it apart because I play deadly, so I care not for your shields or your force illusion, the vibro cutter, so I care not for your shields.
Yeah.
And then that normally has the tools take it down. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just a crazy, really, it's a plucky little deck.
Yeah, but like you say that the meta's boring as well, though, because you're going to be playing the same versus the same three decks. Like, just in the past, when has there been three decks? Really?
There was quite a lot of nationals. There was quite a lot of different stuff.
Well, yes, because we had like the 2-player
decks.
box drop 10 days before the event.
Yeah,
but if you want to talk about nationals,
I know
I'll
what
happily talk about that for a couple of hours.
I know what you're saying. I think I'm not necessarily bored at there not being many decks. I'm just bored with those cards. I'm just ready to move. I think I'm bored of those cards just because there's shiny new things that are there.
Yeah.
So I want to play with the shiny new things.
Yeah,
I think that's literally what it is.
It's been real hard to kind of like play with Legacies for a couple of weeks, decide that I'm going to go to this regional, and then FSG releases that the set's coming out on the 1st of February, which means that this regional is playing Empire at War. So then I've had to dedicate the last 2 weeks or 10 days or so to to playing Empire at War again. It's like, I'm just going to play R2P2 because it will win.
Yeah, I think it's just there. I don't think it's really boredom to do with the meta, boredom to do with decks, things like I say, just because there's shiny new things that are at arm's reach away. So it's just like, I just want to play with my new toys.
Yeah, it feels very much like we've been really lucky in England to be getting Legacies before the Americans. And while it's, I think I had about a week or two of fooling around with some decks, and then it was just straight on to like, oh yeah, it won't actually matter for this regional that I actually want to win.
Yeah.
So best get back to pretending that I don't have all these cards that I've spent loads of money on.
Yeah, we'll ignore about the amount of money.
Cool. Should we talk about the decks that are going through the gauntlet? Because I suggested maybe Palpatine might be interesting because does Palpatine have the tools to take down R2P2 because its damage output is so small but over a long period of time, and it's all about the healing. Can Palpatine just the constant 2 indirect from resolution of his dice be the thing of its downfall? So when you guys played a fair few games, didn't you, with those two? What was your results on my hypothesis?
The verdict is it can. Like with all things Palp, it really depends on his dice rolls, but it felt better than any other deck I've seen perform against R2P2 in the Empire War meta. But it's just a case of can Palpatine perform people that aren't playing R2P2? And then you've got to think, how many people are going to turn up to this event and not play R2P2 is where the risk is, I think, because I don't think Palp's a good deck. But against R2P2, I think it definitely is.
And you've just got to look at like turnout for the events that's happened over this weekend, and you'll see that half the field is R2P2, a quarter of it is Qui-Gon Kanan, and then you just got a smattering of people playing like a deck. Like there were like 3 Palpatines, 3 Kylo Grievuses. And you weren't really getting much higher than 3 people playing a deck, and that was at like the Minnesota regional, which had like 80 players or something silly. So it's really showing that the 2 decks you're going to be playing, at least half or just over half the field is going to be Blue Hero, and with a bit of Poe thrown in maybe.
So the decks you're going to see are R2P2, Qui-Gon, Kanan.
Yeah,
5 dice villain.
Yeah, but then even at the regionals, there were 3 5-dice villain players as well. Like although these are the gauntlet decks, everyone's really riding hard on the R2P2 and the Qui-Gon Kanan train. But yeah, other than that, you've also you got Palpatine, 5-dice villains, this new OTK 7th Sister deck, which I think we should talk about in a minute because it's. I saw it and just laughed, and then it wins a galactic qualifier. I'm just trying to think. There's nothing else that's really, you've got your Kylo Grievous.
Yeah, but then we didn't see. There was how many of them? 3.
Yeah, like 3. This is it. Like, kind of like
if you'd asked, Kylo, though.
Yeah, if you had asked me like 2 days ago, I would have been like, it's these 5 decks. But looking at it, it's 2 decks, and you just have a smattering of like randomness thrown through. So you're just as likely to play 5-dice villains as you are hero mill. which is crazy, right? Like, so it almost feels like it's, you've got to know those matchups, but you're gonna probably not play against it. What you are going to play against is R2P2 and Qui-Gon Kanan, and they're the matches you really need to shore up.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So should we look?
Yeah. So should we jump into this Seventh Sister OTK deck? Has everyone got it up?
Yeah.
I have, yes.
Yeah. For the YouTube watchers, just plug in our YouTube, subscribe. We've got a giveaway. Go to our YouTube channel to find out. I've just put it up on there as well. So.
Cool. So the character lineup is Elite Seventh Sister with single die Sienna Ree and a Guavi Enforcer, and the battlefield is 4 Anaxes, which when you control the battlefield, each of your characters gain the Guardian keyword. It's very light on the upgrades, so we've got 2 Ancients, 2 Force Illusions, 2 Seeker Droids, and 2 Riot Control Batons. There's 2 copies of Aftermath, and let's go into the meat and veg of the deck, the events, to which there are 20 events. So we've got 2 copies of Boundless. So James, as James said when we talked about the deck before, he feels that's utility is literally just to have more cards to throw away for rerolls. Is that what you said, right?
Yeah, well, I've only practiced with it. I've done like 4 games, and as far as I can see, yeah, like it's because you really want to hit when you've got all those Seeker Droid dice out. Because the whole point is OTK is 1 turn kill, right? So you just basically do all your cheats to get all the Seeker Droid dice into the pool. And then you just really got to hope they hit either a focus or a melee. And yeah, I think Boundless just really shores that potential up.
Yeah, it also allows you to draw into your more ridiculous, feints and leaderships and stuff as well, doesn't it?
Cool. So it has 2 copies of cheat, and so we were thinking that you'd be cheating, getting back cards like leadership and feint. There's 2 copies of each of those. So obviously with feint, you allow to activate your Seventh Sister, get your Seeker Droids in the pool, and then feint, stand her back up again, and then obviously you get to then reactivate her and get more dice in the pool. So you probably need to bring with you at least 5 or 6 Seeker Droids. Do a Steve.
Yeah.
How many Seeker Droids did you have when we were playing the other day?
Too many Seeker Droids.
Yeah. Doubt is so for the removal suite, it's got a couple of doubts, 2 he doesn't like use, and 2 sound the alarms.
6 removal cards is pretty normal amount. All 0 cost removal as well, because you can be spending all your money.
Yeah, it's got the friends in high places to play 2 copies of that, because obviously with lots of Seeker Droids out, you should be able to get friends in high places very, very easily. I was considering putting this in my my Boba Seven Sister deck, but there's not a whole. There's only like a couple of 3 costs in there that I really, really want, a couple of 2, so I kind of took it off the list. But yeah, so that obviously. Same with this deck, I guess. Really, maybe they're just trying to get and draw into more of those Seeker Droids.
Yeah, even if you just play a Riot Control Baton for free, it's good, right?
Because you spend all your resources on the cards that cheat out, is what I find. So getting anything from a 2 cost upgrade to the 5 cost Rise Again out for free is massive.
That's what I was going to say. So if it's a 1-turn kill deck, or it wants to kill you in 1 or 2 turns, Rise Again seems like a really odd choice of a card. I mean, unless obviously the idea is round 1 you smash them for lots of damage, they'll hit your Seventh Sister for 3, 4 plus damage, then you play your friends in high places and just hit the Rise Again just to mitigate all their damage.
Yeah, and then equip like a Seeker Droid or something that you may have discarded for a reroll, or Riot Baton that would have discarded for a reroll. Like
yeah, that's
I always see Rise Again as being like a round 3, 4 card, or 4 or 5 onwards card always. But I guess this is using it a lot more aggressively, like not going for max heal, but just going for the free upgrade.
Well, you say that when I played R2P2 against myself earlier with this deck, R2P2 had done 8 damage by the end of turn 2. So she's a 10 health character. So like I had to make sure I knew I had it in my hand, so I had to make sure I knew I was going to have 5 resources at the start of round 3. So and Guavian and Sienna are both more than capable of making money for you. So it is a case of you just kill off your other characters and just keep her alive, and as soon as she dies, you've lost the game. So it is really clutch, that Rise Again play.
Cool. So that's and then obviously, like I said, we've got the 2 copies of leadership. So you just Reshisunari to get more used to Seventh Sister, and then you've got the Price of Failure, which you just, like we said, we were chatting before, what you just kill off a fully healthy character to get even more value out of the Seventh Sister.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you can roll Sienna in, get a resource, and then just kill her for an extra Seeker Droid dice, it seems real worth it.
Yeah.
Because if you can get, even if you just think about like just how much damage, 6 Seeker Droid dice all on melee is, like,
yeah,
that's like almost 15 damage or something. I'm just gonna say a number without doing any real math.
well, it's 6, then 5, then 4, then 3.
I know how it works. But math,
Yeah,
I don't want to add.
So like, more than 20.
More than 20. Okay, so yeah, it's more than 20. That's just 6 Seeker Droid dice, and you need one of them to hit a focus, so then you could focus all the other dice to melee. Like I can definitely see how this deck won a Galactic Qualifier. I just can't believe that it did.
Yeah,
it just seems real hit and miss, and for it to just hit 6 games in a row is quite surprising.
Yeah, it's kind of playing like fast and loose. It's quite fun because Seventh Sister is like so fragile, right? And as soon as she dies, your game plan falls back. You might as well scoop, right? When she's dead, you might as well scoop. So, with you're quite light on, well, you're not light on mitigation, but 6 mitigation cards. With the rest of it, just trying to be all tech stuff for her to get the most out of the dice.
Yeah,
it's like you hit hard and you get hit back, but you try and hit harder than they hit you. Do you know what I mean? Like that's your mitigation, is killing their characters. So it's I want to run it through the gauntlet with you later because it can be crazy.
And I feel like it's a deck that definitely wants to have its own battlefield as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Just so you can get that extra mitigation in round 1.
Yeah.
Although you're even missing the shields, but you're going to Guardian more than 2 damage.
Yeah, and
even Sister, aren't you?
Even after round 1, I found that like I'd say 2 out of 3 times I was claiming faster than RTP2 was, because because you really just rely on that Seventh Sister. Like if I'm looking at the board state and I haven't even activated Guavian for whatever reason, or whatever, because of leadership or whatever, then I just look at it. I'm like, right, I'm just going to claim, because you're guarding away, potentially 2 to 4 damage.
Yeah.
Off of those 2 characters in the next round, so you can just sort of be a bit techie with how you claim.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's really interesting, and I haven't had a chance to sit down and play it yet. So I'm looking. We've still got 2 weeks until our regional, so we've got plenty of time to adapt. But this could easily become a pretty huge deck that we could see. So we've got to work out what we're going to do against it, which is just going to be kill Seventh Sister as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Blow her the fuck up.
Yeah.
So,
but I think that's it for Empire at War meta, though, isn't it? I just can't think of any other.
Well, there was that Kylo 2 Vader 2 deck, 2 Kylo 1 Vader kicking around for a little while. Then that picked up a little bit of traction, and then just gone dead.
Yeah, like the Emo Kids 2.0 sad boys. Yeah.
Because you just pay all these free upgrades, pay all these free removals, stockpile money, and then just rise again. It's one of those decks that lives and breathes and lives and dies by the Holocron.
Yeah, which is every blue villain deck since Awakenings.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. But yeah, it really surprised me just looking at the Minnesota deck turnout and just see that it's just so heavy RTP2 in Kanan, and that a lot of other decks have just kind of fallen to the wayside. Considering that everyone's moaning about how good R2P2 is, but then a lot of that is just down to the sheer number of players that bring it to a tournament. So of course it's going to be in the, the majority of the top 8 if the majority of the people there are playing it.
Is it, because I've never played it, is R2P2 an autopilot deck like Pomaz was?
No.
But then I kind of argued that Pomaz wasn't autopilot, because when you play aggro, there's so many niche decisions you have to make that are really important in the early game.
I don't think you can argue that deck though, Leighton wasn't autopilot compared to the majority of decks. So
Pomaz was literally just Ropo, Romaz, Resolve. But the skill in that came in when you played certain cards and you spent your money on certain stuff.
I think
That's what
that
it's got.
a better player will beat a worse player while playing R2P2, which is why I beat James all the time in the mirror.
Yeah. I think that speaks volumes in itself because we've only got a handful of cards different.
Yeah.
And I know I am open with the fact that you are a better player, but you're a national champion. Blah blah. I'm going to keep just going on about that.
Yeah.
But because when we come to the final, I'm going to beat you in the final. It'll be fine. It'll be like
Yeah, and then you can be like regional champion, which is like one of my underlings, right? I just send off my regional children off to the world.
Yeah, I mean the point being, once I get there, once Danny's finished stroking his ego, is that I think it does matter on the pilot. It will come down to the pilot because there's only a handful of cards you can change out really, and so most people will be playing pretty much the same deck. And there is the fact that Danny's beaten me consistently, and I haven't beaten him once out of like 3 or 4 times we've played probably the mirror online and in person.
Yeah,
it's been around 3 or 4 times, and I've not come. I don't think I've come close to beating them once, and it's just I think you do need to be good at piloting it, really. To be honest, like I've not lost it when I played a couple of people on TTS online, and they've had R2P2, and I've beaten all of them, and they've had pretty much the same deck. So I think that says something about pilot skill needed.
Yeah, it's definitely not as easy as just roll out, hit and run, and I'm going to thermal you twice and win the game. It's not that level. And, is it as complicated as the Seven Sister deck? The OTK Seven Sister, that will be a harder deck to pilot 100% because it doesn't play like a normal Destiny deck.
No, yeah. It's very neat, yeah.
But, R2P2 is all about just mitigating damage, setting up good combos to sneak through like 3 damage with pose special chaining, and it's just getting upgrades out and just dealing damage, but it's how you go about it and how you essentially mitigate your opponent's dice as best you can to stop them from removing your shield, some like even shield placement with pose ability, with light bows and stuff. It's all just getting it in the right place.
Totally.
I think that kind of wraps up Empire, though. Shall we move on to the old spice / new spice that is Legacies?
Yeah, sounds good. Special training is a place to swap over.
Right, so let's start off and talk about Yoda and how broken he is. Incoming balance of the Force change, do we think?
100%.
I'm going to say no, because he's only really, really, really good with upgrades or supports in play. And 10 health isn't a lot of health.
It's crazy. Me and Steve were talking about this on the car back from Simon's the other day, how 10 health feels so much less than 11 when it's literally just one number.
Yeah. But when you look at it, like Akbar is a 10 health character. I'm saying that, and now I think he's 9.
He's 9.
Damn it. No, I look like a fool live on radio. But like 10 health isn't a lot. And okay, you can, depending on who you're pairing him with, like I'm probably going to go Yoda Finn, new Finn, because I feel like that deck has got some serious legs, and we'll talk about it in a bit. But
just £100 character composition. Easy.
Wow, yeah. Which you gotta. All the good decks cost a lot of money, right? Apart
from R2P2.
Apart from R2P2, R2P2's got Ancients in it.
Yeah, Ancient.
Sound the Alarm is a $10 card. As Mr. Chip from Discard to no, not Discard to Reroll. That is the Double Blanks one. No, I've lost it. Sorry, Mr. Chip. I don't remember the name of your podcast.
Gutting.
Yeah. I'm sure someone will send it to me at some point. I think I've just totally lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. Yoda. Yeah, I think he's going to be best for Finn, but he just... Because you need to be able to play big healing cards and big shielding cards. And also blue weapons have a lot of good specials on them, including force powers, right? Someone just went, well, what if you put force heal on Yoda and you gain the resource to resolve force heal and you just constantly heal for 2 every turn by just rolling them out.
Can confirm it's ridiculous. When I was playing against Steve, he was using his Elite Yoda 2 Jedi Partisans mill deck, and when he had Cunning on 1 Jedi Partisan and a Force heal on his Yoda, and had so much money because
Yoda
every round he was just getting all the money, and I got a Jedi Partisan down to like 1 health left, and by the end of the round, yeah, he'd healed like 4 damage off it.
Yeah.
And that was ridiculous. Just 2 die and 2 resources.
Yeah, so
Heal 4.
I feel once you start picking a lot of specials, and even when you just team them with red, right, you've got Mend now and Field Medic, so you can just resolve one of Yoda's special die, do something else, the next round play a Field Medic and heal him for 2, and all you've done is just resolve a special die, and you've probably changed something else, or it's just crazy the possibilities of them. But I just feel like 10 health isn't very much. So at the moment, he's probably going to be all right. But I suppose when they find the Yoda deck to end all Yoda decks, it will become super oppressive.
When you spend all this time taking out the support guy and not the main guy, you're eating so much damage yourself.
Is he not the main guy, though? Everyone says he's a support. Come on. He's real good.
I think when you kill Yoda, the deck doesn't fall apart, does it? If you kill Yoda and they've still got Finn, they're still smashing you for big damage. Yeah. And with a character that's also got, built-in heal, built-in willpower, as well as good damage sides.
Yeah.
And is he 12 health Finn or 11?
12.
He got a big upgrade from his yellow counterpart.
No, he's still really good because you can play him with Anakin and play Jank according to your videos.
Are you referring to my Anakin yellow Finn deck that gets out Seeker droids and just refuses to die and nearly always takes the game to mill?
Yeah, somehow. It's still bad though. You haven't won a game with it yet.
I've not won a game. I've only played 2 games with it. I've lost both of them, and they've both been against Obi Maz's 2 different pilots, but it's been a ride.
It has been a ride. Which goes on to my segment of I think Obi-Wan Maz is totally trash.
Dun dun dun.
I think it's totally trap. It's a total trap. He's got 2 damage sides. As soon as Maz dies, he cannot consistently roll damage. Even with Shotos and Obi-Wan Saber, double Shoto Obi-Wan Saber, he rolls out and he just doesn't hit anything, and you have to re-roll him 3 times. When you hit the God roll and do 15 damage, it feels real good, but that doesn't happen very often. So I'll be prepared to be proven wrong in a month's time when someone's made some awesome one that's winning everything as much as R2P2 is right now, but I just don't see it happening. Yeah. What do you guys think?
Well, it does fall. The only thing I'll say is it does fall into that whole trap of a character with only 2 damage sides, being they are 2 big sides. And that's always been the problem with Darth Vader. He just got those 2 damage sides. If they don't come up, then it's sad times. But I don't. I think there's a lot of trap cards in that deck. I think the Yoda's protection or whatever it is, or mentoring. Basically, the support.
Defensive teaching.
The support that allows you to have more than 1 shield, more than 3 shields. Sorry, that is a trap card, because if you're playing against a good opponent, their Obi-Wan is never going to get more than 3 shields. Never get more than 3 shields. So it's a waste of an action. It's a waste of tempo, and it's like a deck slot wasted. I think it's a trap card, and a lot of the time as well, I also think a Tayu Strike might be a trap card too.
Nah.
Because it's a good blowout card, but I also think No Mercy is a trap card. These cards, I've always, in my experience, when I've had No Mercy in deck, I've always been yeah, okay, I can just discard all this to do big damage. Well, my problem is my No Mercies have always come to me early on.
Yeah.
Where you don't want to ditch your whole hand just to do 5 damage. You want to use that card to kill a character. But I've never had in more games of Vader Raider than any person should have physically ever played of Vader Raider. And also playing emo kids, that recently made kids. I never saw the opportunity for it, or I'd always look at my board state and be like, I would much rather spend one of those two resources to play this other card that does something else, or stick another weapon on and have more threats on the board than play.
When you can play a lightsaber throw for 2 damage for 1 resource, does no mercy at 2 resources, and having to discard 2 cards to then do the same amount of damage on top of your, melee or range, whatever you've got down in your pool, does that seem worth it? And it doesn't. So I kind of get that sense of depending what's in your hand. And if you're seeing him early, I can agree. But when you see it late game, right, and you're just like, I don't need any of this trash, I just need that guy dead, and this will do it.
Yeah, that's where it comes in good. But then that's why I also think where Retayu Strike falls down, because in the late game, how often are you going to be sitting on 3 shields or 3 or more shields? I know he activates and gives himself a shield.
Yeah.
But
I feel like, because it doesn't remove the shields, it just applies the shields that you already have and then does the damage. So even in round 1, you take your opponent's battlefield, so you start with the 2 shields, you roll out, and then you could just Atari Strike. So it could be your second action Atari Strike, and you could do 4 damage with it.
Yeah,
3 damage.
I mean, I've not played Obi Maz, so I'm literally just going. I've only played against you and some randomer on TTS. So
yeah, and I feel like in Obi Maz, it's not a good card because he just doesn't have enough melee sides, and when they do come up, you want to link them together with like a plus side and a raised lightsaber or something. So I feel like Atari Strike is bad in Obi Maz because Obi Maz is bad, and when you get a good blue hero deck, if you're playing like New Luke or General Aliala, that's it. She could also be really good at using this when you start playing things like Jedi robes or Luke's protection, or even in a Qui-Gon deck like Qui-Gon Yoda. I've played it a couple of times and it is brutal, really brutal.
Caution as well.
Yeah, caution
for 3, and then next action Atari Strike for 4 or 5 or whatever's shown on your dice.
Yeah, and considering that, like going back to like the Yoda Qui-Gon, you can give a shield and gain a resource, and so you can just constantly just keep topping up Qui-Gon with all these shields, and then just Atari to strike next round, and ping any additional shield that you play on him. Like I feel anything with Yoda is better. Like Yoda is better than Maz, and Qui-Gon does slightly less melee damage, but he makes up for more than that in pings, I reckon. And the fact that Yoda adds so much to any deck you're going to play him in, I think Obi Maz is fun. It's really fun to play, but it's not going to pay any. It's not going to win anything huge.
And the fact shields are just good in general now. Qui-Gon's better. So, play Qui-Gon.
Yeah, cool. What are we talking about?
Just Legacies in general.
Are you playing Gwent again or something?
No, I was just looking at some other cards to prepare for the next segment because
you're professional.
I'm going to look through my folder in a minute while we're having that conversation. While you're talking about your cards, I'm going to have a little flick through. But have you noticed any decks that are not good or really good, James? What's your general perception of Legacies at the moment?
So far, I have played a guy from Northampton a few times, and he's always putting Yoda with someone, and I am not scared of Yoda that much. As much as I think special chaining is ridiculous and it goes against the spirit of the game, because they can theoretically take all of their dice off the board in one go if they play a certain deck.
Yeah.
Sure, resolve all those. Like the first time I saw it, I was like, wow, you've just taken 9 dice off your board and done like 10 different things. I mean, yeah, you can do that, but you're also not doing any damage to me. Like, if I can take you off the board before you get any meaningful specials out that actually do damage, like light bow or, anything like that, then like post light, gun, all of that.
Blaster and all that.
Then, so you wipe Yoda off the board early and it's not a threat. I think he will shine for me in a hero mill deck, like what you said Steve was playing with the Jedi Partisans, like stuff that doesn't require damage, because sure, his special is really good and the training is really good, but just him doing that alone is not scary, I don't think. I think the first time people see it, they get frightened, and then you learn, you're like, oh, this isn't actually that good. And then you just blast through him anyway.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the pairing. Like, I think the pairing with Finn is the best pairing for a damage deck. I did want to give old Luke and one Yoda a go, just for old time's sake.
Oh, God. Leave old Luke to die with most of Awakening's characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I get your feels when it's like really frustrating when they just have that one special die, the rest is show and trash, and then they just go on this ridiculous chain. And it feels like the rule where when you're resolving a type of dice, any new dice that enter the pool that's showing that side can now be resolved at the same time feels like a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea when it doesn't feel so bad when you do it with a Sith Holocron, because it's just one dice. You know what I mean? Like, you resolve your Sith Holocron, I have to pay a resource, I roll in my new dice, and it has to hit special.
Yeah.
I can't change it manually. That feels fine. But when I'm just going whoop de boop de boop de boop de boop de boop, gaining shields, taking resources, or milling cards off the top of decks, that's when it does feel horrible. And then obviously when you pair it with other dice that deal damage, like your handcrafted, your hose blasters, and you just see these dice when they roll in, like, sweet, they rolled crap. Okay, I'm okay. And then oh shit, he's got 2 Yoda specials or 1 Yoda special. I must remove this dice now. Oh, I can't. Great, all these dice are gonna daisy chains will begin. That can be quite frustrating. The Jedi Partisan deck was really. I thought that was a really good mill deck. It didn't seem like it's not like it mills you like how I like mill, where like it's like you've like got your wrist slit and you're slowly bleeding out, as opposed to buyout, was just a guillotine cutting your head off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, the good old mill days where you would just lose your hand and a couple of cards off your top of your deck, not your whole deck in 2 turns.
Yeah, it seems cool. I mean, the first time I played against with Steve, he was using Yoda special to take the cards off the top of my deck, and then we had another game, and I was like, no, just use his special to like change dice, gain shields, or gain money to allow, because he had like, there's that card that costs 4, I can't remember its name, which is like discard 4 cards, or it costs 3 or whatnot. You want the money to be able to play that, because the problem which Hero Mill always has, it can get through the deck, it can't get through your hand.
Yeah,
that's always been the problem from playing, with Padme and whatnot. They're very, like, I mean, the Jedi Partisan's got 1 discard side, and so's Yoda, and they only got the 1 side. There's like, obviously Jabba's got 2, and Dooku had 2 for 1, didn't he? So they could always get the cards out of your hand, and then obviously with Old Unkar Plat as well, being able to pull multiple cards from your hand if they had multiple dice equaling a value of 3. So when we had another game, he played differently, and it was ridiculous. And because he had so much money, when he had his Force heals, like I said earlier, like, nearly got a partisan dead, and then he just kept healing up. And I was playing at the time Hondo. So in the first game, I was taking away his money, or he was spending his money, and then I was like smashing him with Hondo specials for 3 all the time. And then when he had like 5 resources, like, yeah, I'll give you a resource. It's like, I think like towards the end, I had like 8 resources, like 3 cards left in my deck and my hand. I was like, I don't want to play anything because these are all valuable lifeblood.
Yeah.
So it was it was horrible, but it was cool. I like it. I think it's a cool mill deck.
Yeah,
which is weird for me to say. I hate mill.
I think it kind of falls into the trap that every mill deck will, though, and it just won't ever be good enough. Like, it'll be fun. People will play it. You're gonna really hate those people, but it won't. It's not gonna win anything, or if it does, it will get real close, but we'll never be able to clutch it out.
Yeah, I think that's the design space they've made, though, because no one wants mill to dominate. Like, I'm a mill player, and I don't want mill to be the meta, do you know what I mean? Because that's just not good for a game. So it's something that I've come to accept as a mill player, is that it's just going to be tier 2.
Mill mirror matches, man.
Oh, no,
yeah, I've been in that before.
Yeah, let's not do it ever again.
See, damage mirror matches are always more fun. They're more exciting. Who can kill the other person fast enough? Who's going to make the right choices? But mill mirrors, just like, and now he slowly pokes his opponent, and his opponent slowly pokes him back.
Oh, sorry, I think I fell asleep during that expose right there.
Yeah.
I think I played Hungry Hippos mirror match and got both my buyouts bought out in the same buyout action. That felt.
That's
So
a loss.
I was sitting on like 12 resources and I was just like, scoop.
Yeah.
That's game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think if you play like a yellow villain mill, you still just need to bang in
Cheats.
those crime lords.
Oh,
Just
crime lords, yeah.
just kill one character off just to
Yeah.
neuter their damage output so
Mm.
you can survive and then maybe win through that way. Have a second win condition basically.
Yeah, that's what I was doing with the new one, and it seemed to work. And I took them out, and then I played RTP2 without them, and wish I had them.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, those games were not even close. If you're taking R2P2 to regional, I wouldn't worry about the mill matchup.
I don't know. You had three cards left in hand on the first time you played.
Yeah, but I wasn't worried.
No, yeah.
Like,
To be fair.
yeah, you gotta, because once you kill Jabba, Unkar probably is only going to be stealing one card a turn because you just don't have the numbers, so you just don't play any more cards and you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's a good point. So anyway, that's back onto Empire. We'll talk this. So should we go back to Legacies? And are we talking about decks or just characters, or what are we talking about that we've noticed this side of the pond so far?
Things you've played, like I really like Bobber with Seventh Sister. I think both are elite. It's a really strong deck. I think that's going to be really cool. Playing Hondo Poe, that was quite fun. I mean, I did just play a couple of mill games, but I think it's definitely a deck that could potentially have legs because Hondo with two special sides, you really don't want to take that 3 damage. So you're forced to this horrible position where, okay, I'll give up my resources. By giving up your resources, then that allows you to load up with more weapons and get away with playing more upgrades and more expensive cards. Like, Mend is a fantastic card, but it feels bad sometimes to spend your whole turn's worth of resources just to heal 3. But if you get to play some stuff, then force them to give you some money to then get back up to them mend, you're using your opponent's money to mend, which feels really good. They've both got 11 health, right? So 22 health's pretty good. Yeah, I think I enjoy playing. I've got it built. That's another deck I've got built up. Palpatine, I'm still trying the new Palpatine. I'm trying to build so I was playing Palpatine with veteran Stormtrooper and had some success. And now I want to try the Gamorrean Guard just because Delve is such a disgustingly amazing card. So for those who don't know what Delve does, it's a 3-cost yellow event which allows you to deal 1 indirect damage to yourself to play a support or an upgrade from your hand for free. So I'll happily deal 1 damage to my Gamorrean Guard or even my Palpatine to play a Force Lightning or any Force Power for free, especially if you've got Palpatine out and you're showing at least 2 damage sides, you're only paying 1 for the Delve. I mean, you could get the Dream, obviously, and have your Gamorrean and your Palpatine out and have all 3 damage sides showing and play Delve for free to then have a big Force Power free for next round. So that's what I'm working on. But as I was saying to the guys earlier, my first iteration was like a 40-card deck. So
Yeah.
definitely got to trim some of the fat away from that bad boy.
Yeah, I was looking at. I looked at the veteran Stormtrooper and Palp before regionals came and reared its ugly head. So I've sort of put that on the back burner for a bit. But I was saying for a while, I really like the new the new idea of the concept of the witch magic and all the new Night Sister stuff that's come with Talzin.
Yeah.
So you've got to have odd numbers and stuff, and that's really cool. And I was thinking Talzin's going to be a great aggro character, right? So she's already shown with Callus or people like that she's really good. But I was thinking maybe just single die her with Vader and just go for some really dirty like healing, being able to flip a Vader die for a start every turn if you fill up your deck with odd numbered stuff is just brilliant. And then healing a Vader for 3 is just for 1 3 damage off Vader for 1 is huge.
Yeah, it's better than Rise Again, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, just money for healing is real good.
Yeah, so that's something I want to look into, even though I don't own a Daddy Vader. It might have legs. We'll see. The dream is alive at the moment.
Yeah, I tried Mother Talzin with Aura Singh for an ultimate almost one turn kill deck. I think one of the games against you, Danny, did I kill one of your characters in round one?
Yeah, you did. You did 10 damage and killed. Who was I playing? Someone 10 health. Oh, General Aliala. I forget my name already.
Alara Secura, yeah.
Yeah.
You played Alara Secura, and
Yeah.
that was Alara Poe, wasn't it?
It was Alara Poe, yeah. And then I just realised you might as well just play Yoda.
Yeah. So that deck's like, it's but I think I've got too many 0 costs in there.
Yeah, and it's real low health, but when you can keep flipping Aura Things dice to 2s and then just discarding for 3s, and you've still got the healing and all that kind of blue good stuff with the Force Illusions and armor platings and stuff. So I think it's, Talon just adds so much consistency to any deck that she's in if you build your deck correctly around it.
I think Talon and Callus is the correct combo, though. That's the best combo because you get elite for both. Callus was an absolute beast. You're going to obviously want to get rid of Talon first because she's the one manipulating all the dice and adding the consistency, and then you still got Callus. I'm showing a 1 gun. I'll just flip that to 3 for 1 melee with my personal action. And Callus's gun. I think Callus's gun's great. Ambush is just perfect on it. Just like you lose 0 tempo playing this weapon with all these blue sides that you can
match with anything because Callus is pretty darn reliable in rolling the kind of damage you need, and if not, he's 1 action away from doing it.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a good combo. With the deck vote that Jay gave me, I think he gone a bit too crazy on the odd side, like playing cards like it will all be mine just because it's a 3 cost.
Yeah.
Like it's never going to get played. I mean, but then again, this is a point. Then maybe I count to my own personal point. I'm having a conversation with myself here. Is that I've always said in this game where you can have sort of like flex cards or cards in your deck that you didn't never play because at the end of the day, just discard it for a reroll.
Yeah, obviously you want all your cards to do something, but in the worst case scenario, it's a reroll on a stick. So
yeah, cool. So unless that's it.
I think
one thing.
Yeah, I think it's. I think it just boils down to Yoda is good. Find a good partner for him and tell the world.
So I think that will, and at the moment we think Finn.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. So this final segment, basically, what I want to talk about is when we are building our decks now. There's so many cards that we just feel like they're auto included. Like if I'm playing yellow villain, I'm going to put in backup muscle. I'm going to put in he doesn't like you. But we've got 4 sets now, and there's so many new cards, which maybe not at the moment aren't getting play, but they definitely will when the other stuff rotates out. But maybe we should consider they should see some play because they get overlooked. An example of a good card that I've started to put in decks is Hasty Exit. The Hasty Exit is a neutral yellow event, which costs 0, and it reads, give control of the battlefield to an opponent to remove a dice showing damage. So it's a single bit of removal, and all you have to do is give control of the battlefield over to your opponent. Now, we could maybe get in the rules lawyers here and say, it says give control of the battlefield to the opponent. Does that mean you need to have control of the battlefield? Because normally cards say only play when you control the battlefield. So my opponent could be in control of the battlefield, and I'm like, yeah, you have control of the battlefield.
I feel like...
Am I turning into that person who reads between the lines too much and gets up there?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. You need to control the battlefield to play that card.
Yeah.
Please
it's
stop.
Still a great card. You can throw that in with like yellow decks and really fast a lot of the time. So I still think that's a great card. But yeah, you do need to control the battlefield. So...
Yeah.
Sorry.
But it's a good card. A card that I've been looking at to pair with my new Vader Gamorrean Guard is Counter-Strike. So Counter-Strike is another neutral yellow event. It costs 1, and it reads, resolve one of your dice showing damage, increasing its value by 2 if an opponent resolves 1 or more dice showing the same if an opponent resolves 1 or more dice showing that same damage symbol during their last turn this round. So the great thing about Palpatine is his dice have all 3 damage sides on. So I feel like he's the only real character you'll get any worth from this card, because if you're, for instance, playing any other character, and say you're a melee deck, and you face up against a ranged deck, you now have a dead card in your deck. You're never going to be able to play it. But at least with Palpatine, doesn't matter who you face, as long as your dice come up with the same symbol. And like I say, he's got one of each side, so it's a 1 and 3 times 2 for if you're playing him elite. Why aren't you playing him elite? There's a high chance of you getting it out, and increasing a 2 to 4 for 1. That's basically like lightsaber throw.
Yeah.
But actually resolves the die. So, what do you guys think of that card?
Yeah, I think you just kind of hit all the points on it. Really, like it's just real solid. You've had a conversation with yourself again.
I do this a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I'm really good at seeing both sides of the argument and deciding which person's right. And it's always me.
I mean, yeah, you are the Justice Warrior of the Destiny Facebook group. Without you, hell would be nothing.
Oh no, there's plenty more people out there who are fighting the good fight. One of my favorite comments was when someone asked a question, and the comment was, "Have you read the fucking card?" And I was just like, "No, my man." Took the words right out of my mouth. So anyway, I was looking at a few more. So I'll go through a couple more, and if it can't create discussion with us three, and maybe we can create discussion amongst yourselves. So I went through the set and looked at some interesting cards. So there's one here which is Into the Garbage Chute. So 1 cost hero grey card, and you can exhaust one of your characters to remove the 2 dice showing damage.
Yeah, it's a great card. I've spotted that for when I was looking at stuff for Sabine Ezra, which I've decided is no longer a thing. Because that's just Guardian, but without dealing damage to yourself, and it's 2 dice. So yeah, that's an auto include.
Yeah. And like maybe in like the your Yoda 2 Jedi Partisans, you can just exhaust one of your Jedi Partisans, remove 2 dice.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I feel it's really dependent on the deck you're playing. Yoda Jedi Partisans sounds real good. R2P2 sounds awful.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
you've got to have a pleb, you've got to have a Jawa or someone who's you're not really into to take that hit.
Well, if you ever want to play old Phasma, how much would you love this card with Phasma, Guavian Trooper? I could, tap Gary, get his dice in, which is probably going to roll a blank, eat 3 damage, or I could just tap Gary and remove that 3 damage and something else.
Yeah, and the other damage. Yeah, it'd be pretty good, but it's a hero card. And I've yet to work on the new Gary Phasma deck, but I'm sure it's there.
All right, so I won't work on that deck, but in hero decks it will get it. I'm sure there's a few other hero decks that make use of that.
Yeah, anything that's running like a Padawan or just someone who's good but not excellent, that you can just afford not to roll out one turn, it'll be really good.
Cool. Another good card, which I think is going to be crazy good, which people should be playing, and I haven't seen anyone play this card yet on Tabletop Simulator, apart from me when I loaded it in Tabletop Simulator myself. But now it's about everyone, is Light 'em Up. So Light 'em Up is a red hero event, 1 cost. You reroll one of your dice. If it just rolled ranged, you get to resolve that die, and another one of your die showing ranged, increasing one of their values by 2.
Yeah.
So that's so good. I think you could, like, if you're playing this, you're probably definitely playing Overkill. You could have, like, maybe if you're playing new Han, new Finn, or can you play Han and Finn, or is it Han and Leia? Anyway, any combination with which allows you to get Overkill on the board, just re-roll another dice. Sweet. Like, I've got like the character dice showing damage. I'll re-roll this Overkill that's already on 2. Even if it rolls it down to the 1, I'm still going to then smash 5. You know what I mean? So I think it's a good card. What do you think?
Well, we spoke about it on this podcast, actually, already.
Cool. All right. So what I'm going to do, instead of talking about my opinions of cards now, that's what I keep doing, I'm going to fucking talk about cards, read it out, and you guys give your opinion of it. So,
oh, my God. Revolutionizing, as on the fly. I'm excited.
Here's one for you. Against the Odds is a free, so 0 cost, yellow hero event. Reroll one of your dice. Then, if it just rerolled the same symbol, you may resolve it, increasing its value by 2.
Bad. Unless you're playing a character that has like 3 of the same side.
So forget any other cards that are in the game. So forget the fact that Awakenings, all that exists, right?
In a
Bad. You think it's
vacuum.
bad. In a vacuum. Treat these cards in a vacuum, but also but in a vacuum in the sense that all characters to you are available.
Yeah.
Is it character dice, or is it any dice?
Just re-roll one of your dice, and if it rolls the same symbol, you can increase its value by 2. Would you not love to re-roll? Say you're on a chance cube on a 1. You re-roll your chance cube into the 3, and then take 5 resources.
I mean, yeah, but you could also, there's 2 blacks in the chance cube, so I'd rather just focus.
Yeah, pick an extreme. Well, if you look at like Vibro Cutlass, right? That's got 50% damage size. It's got a 4 for 1, so that could easily become a 6 for 1. Seems pretty good.
Yeah. You got a rocket launcher out there that's sitting on a.
It's 2 blanks. Don't re-roll it.
But you're going for the big plays. You need basically you're sitting on your rocket launcher with 2 damage. Your opponent is sitting there with 4 health left. You need to kill them this round, or you lose. You play against the odds, and against the odds you win because you re-roll that rocket launcher and it hits the
just
damage.
The most niche argument.
Yeah.
Is that not what you do?
Is that right?
Is that not how you play No Mercy? I'm sitting there with a damage die. I need to deal 5 damage.
Because No Mercy is guaranteed.
Yeah, and also I don't play No Mercy at all anyway because.
Yeah, but you're playing 2 resources for a guarantee. Here you're paying 0 for the chance of winning the game, clutching it from the jaws of defeat.
In this one example you've listed, in this one tiny example, yes, it is a good card.
Oh, there we go. I found it, guys.
Is that what you wanted to
No, I've got it. Guys, I was just flipping through my binder. Frag Grenade has got 5 indirect damage sides.
There you go, it's good with that. That is a bad card though, so it's still bad.
But the way I was looking at it as well is like it's kind of like do or do not, but do or do not is just reroll a dice. It doesn't matter what it lands on, you can still resolve it. But yeah, I was looking at fringe cards.
I think
the whole point of this discussion is fringe cards.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not cards that we're
to prompt the discussion. I think the big change here is with the inclusion of indirect damage in Legacies, we have seen the drop off of characters having similar damage types on their die. If you look at like Luke, okay, he's got ranged and melee, but Aliala, I will never be able to pronounce her name, has got melee and indirect.
Aliala.
That's going to be the name of the episode.
Wars on TV, so I might actually just like find the YouTube video when they speak to her, and then like see how they pronounce her name.
That's a good plan. But like Clone Trooper, indirect and range. Like everyone's just got this mixed damage sides now. Seb's got 3 melee sides though. Yeah, it just feels fine, but not good enough.
I tell you what, it'd be really good if when you discarded a card, you could only re-roll 1 die. But as that's not the rule, that's my take on it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll move on to another card.
Yeah.
Move on to another card.
Next.
Threaten. 1 cost, neutral yellow. Spot a yellow character to remove an opponent's die unless they deal damage to that character equal to the value shown on the die.
I used to play Threaten.
This is a trick. This is an Empire at War card.
Yeah.
But I went through all the cards.
Okay.
It's great against Mace Windu in a vacuum.
It isn't good enough, I don't think. It's always better, because if you went, okay, you need to remove this die, you're going to take some damage, but if that die is a 3 damage side and you're Vader and full health, you're going to be like, I'll just take the 2 damage, thanks.
Yeah.
And then you just get hit for 3 and you're like, okay, I think snuck 2 damage in for nothing, or it costs 1, sorry, doesn't it? So
yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think you look at this card like it's a removal card. I think you should look at this card like it's a force throw. Sorry, a light saber throw.
Yeah. And if they take the removal, then
if they take, because I think it's a win-win, isn't it?
Yeah.
Surely it's a win-win. I want to damage you because I want to kill you because I want to win the game. So are you going to speed up my win condition by damaging yourself? Or are you going to help my win condition by not damaging me by removing your die?
I think it's an interesting point because I think I was about to say with my psyche with removal is I want that dice off the board, or I just want to get that damage away from me. So you're probably right. If you approach it differently to the way you approach most removal, it's probably a better card than most people give it credit for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and don't think of it as a removal card. Think as a damage from hand card.
Yeah, and when you look at like Red Hero and they've got and the amount of healing they have now, if they don't remove the die and they take the 2 damage and deal the damage to you, and you can just heal it off, you can kind of get a balance that way that it's like a lightsaber throw.
Think of Hidden Motive as well, like that card, that the new card from Rivals, which is you re-roll a die, and if it lands on the same symbol, they remove it. If it doesn't, then it stays in play. Yeah, it's kind of removal, but it's kind of just making stuff better. So with that card, it's a win-win card, right? Yeah. Either I'm going to remove that die, or I'm going to turn that, or I'm softly removing it. I'm turning it to something else that's not going to hurt me. With this card, it's the same thing, right? Apart from it's got a lot more conditions, i.e. the spot, and it costs you money. But that's because it can damage your opponent, as well as maybe removing a die.
Well, I feel like going back to like your Aura Singh Mother Talzin deck, it could replace something like He Doesn't Like You, because 0 is an even number and doesn't trigger off the ability. It feeds into that kind of removal slot and also that damage slot.
Yeah, you also that
they always kill Mother first as well. They always want to kill Mother first. No one ever wants to kill
Aura first.
Aura first.
Yeah, so it kind of like, although it's not a staple in the right deck where you're looking for those odd numbers, and you pull a He Doesn't Like You off the top, it's a great card. But when you can't focus a dive into high damage, it just feels really bad. So you don't want it to happen.
Yeah.
So it could easily find a slot or something like that.
So I've got 3 more I'll go through them quite quick. So we've got Take Flight. So these are all Legacies cards now. Okay. It's a 0 cost yellow villain event with Ambush. Reroll 2 of your yellow dice.
I saw this and I was like, is this really good? For instance, in that Talzin Aura Singh deck, you roll out Aura, Talzin's already dead. She rolled Jank. And this just lets you have a chance at just blowing them out again, just re-rolling those character dice and doing something. And it's interesting. If it didn't have the ambush, it'd be total garbage, obviously, because cards let you re-roll any number of dice, as James alluded to earlier. And I think you've got to have...
Think about our Destiny rule as well. Who's on the artwork for this card?
Well, yeah, I don't think Boba loves this card very much, though. I feel like you want a big impact character. It is villain only, right? Yeah, so you can't play all Red Zeb because that would be really, really good. I'm just trying to think of like big yellow characters, because even on like Jabba doesn't care, Django doesn't care because his dice is trash. Boba could be really good, but again, he's only got 50% damage size, and his special is really dependent on what other number die are in the pool. Is there anyone? I'm just going to look back at Empire at War cards. So what do you think, James?
Big yellows, you've got Greedo.
Ooh, Greedo. I don't know. I think it's a big risk on Greedo because he has just got
a big
so
risk
many.
Anyway.
Yeah. Even Cad Bane. No, it's not really enough. Bosk. Maybe this will make Bosk better. Someone message Sugi and ask if Take Flight will make Bosk a playable character.
So what do you think about Take Flight, James, before we move on to the next one?
Yeah, everything you said. It's like a better version of Unpredictable. Well, it's not better than Unpredictable, because Unpredictable is any dice, isn't it? It's good in the right deck, but yeah, it's not going to be by a long shot.
I would argue that it is better than Unpredictable. But when was the last time you saw anyone play Unpredictable?
Yeah, 100%.
Awakenings, Andre.
Yeah, it's really interesting, but I think you need a really punchy yellow character. But this is a card that we're going to be playing with for the next 2 years, right? So there's always room for these cards to really find a space of their own.
So this card's a card I think will 100% see play in the future, especially when cards like Electroshock and 1/4 portion leave the game. So it is a villain yellow event, subdue. Choose a character that has 3 or more damage on it, remove one of its character or upgrade dice.
That is, I'm trying to find what number. Oh, there it is.
97.
3 damage on it. It is a tough stipulation.
That's turn 1. You've done. How often do you do 3 damage on turn 1? Nearly all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it more than 1/4 portion, I think, because I always feel giving that opponent that extra resource always feels really bad.
Unless you've got a salvage stand.
Unless you've got a salvage stand, or you're going to steal it back with Ezra, or you've got some way of giving it and then taking it away again. And with the amount of indirect that people are throwing, if you can just pile out enough indirect damage, so people are placing it everywhere across all their characters, it's kind of like the big unsung words. I feel that people say at the moment, this card isn't very good because it requires this damage stipulation to happen. But it's like with indirect damage, every single character in the game, at the end of round 1, round 2, will have at least 1 damage on them.
Yeah, I mean, and what dice you're removing? You're removing the scary character, and what character are you attacking? The scary character. So this again could be great in your Aura Talzin deck because you're putting out way more than 3 damage a turn, or you should be, and it's a 1 cost again. And from turn 1, from like the second action, sure you can't, you might not be able to use it in your first hand, but you put it back from your first hand anyway. And then from that point, it's just 1 cost to remove any dice, pretty much. That you want to remove. So
I feel the only part of the game it falls down is turn 1. Someone rolls out you roll out a Vader 2 sticks and a 3 sticks, and you're like, oh man, I can electroshock this 2 sticks. This is not amazing, but fine, I'll do it. Where if you had a subdue in your hand, you're just a little bit mad. But as soon as you're past that initial first action of the game, I've rolled out my character and he's hit damage. It is a really good card.
Well, something that I've been doing a lot more recently is round 1 comes up, I'm playing against my opponent, they've got 2 damage, I've got electroshock in my hand. I don't tend to use it now because say we're starting the round, they're not playing any upgrades, they roll out a character and they hit a 2 and a whatever.
Yeah,
I could stop 2 damage now, but I don't. I've been saving it for the turn when they roll out that character and an upgrade. The upgrade comes with a modifier that's a +12, and they've got that 1 black side that's a 2 or less.
Yeah,
I get rid of the black side. You save your mitigation. I think playing mitigation early, although it stops that 2 damage early, like sometimes it's better to, have like for instance, when I watched Trump play Hearthstone, a complete change of game. When I first used to watch him play, and he wasn't using the coin in like rounds 1, 2, or 3. I was like, play the fucking coin, man. Get that card out. And then when he saves it for that round 7 play where you play something big, do you know what I mean? Or he's got that removal. He's like, okay, I can play turn 5. I can play Brawl, and I can brawl this field that's got 4 units on it. I'm gonna wait, and then he plays it on the turn when there's like a massive board, and he gets maximum value out from it. So I'm trying to put that into my Destiny play where I can just get rid of this 2 now, but by being patient and taking a bit of damage, because like in Hearthstone, life is a resource. Maybe we should start looking at life as a resource in Destiny and be like, cool, I'll take this damage because I'll be able to save a bigger amount of damage later down the line. And Subdue is a card which you only get to play later down the line, but it doesn't have the restriction of spotting, and it doesn't have the restriction of only 2 or less.
Yeah.
It also doesn't have the restriction of what sort of die it is. The only thing it can't remove is a support die.
Who plays support dies?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a really good point that, instinctively you would just remove 2 damage on turn 1, but if you've got 27 health, who cares about 2 damage?
Exactly.
I think you've turned me around, Leighton. Subdue is going in my decks over Electroshock.
All right, cool. The last card I want to talk about is a super hard control card. I played against, what was it? I think it was like a Thrawn Dr. Aphra deck,
Okay.
and this card was making me cry. Law and Order, 3 cost, neutral event, spot a red character to discard and upgrade from play.
Oh yeah, this is like the new better drop your weapon.
Because it's neutral. Oh,
Yeah.
that lightsaber, that ancient lightsaber that you're going to use in 2 turns to save yourself. Let's fucking get rid of it now.
Yeah. Then it's discard and
Yeah.
yeah, that makes me a little bit sad inside. And it
My
will
opponent
probably
played both of them. He played 2 Law and Orders against me because he
I
was
think
playing 2 double chance cube, and I was like, oh my god.
I think the issue we'll find is that you're like is finding the control deck that will have the money to play it and still be able to win.
I'm considering putting it in with Palpatine, Veteran Stormtrooper.
Well,
Yeah,
well, any event is good with Palpatine.
Yeah, I'll put it in that. Because you pay 2 to do that, it's great. You pay 1 to do that, brilliant. You pay 0 to do that, you're laughing.
Oh baby.
Yeah.
I think I might even take out the it might replace my Endless Ranks because I've never played in. Since I put Endless Ranks in, I've never played it.
Oh, okay. So there was a trap. I thought it might be really good, but if you're not finding the spot for it, if you draw it early,
Well,
it's garbage, right?
well, normally when you want to like the option I'm normally finding myself is, do I play Endless Ranks and get a 9 health character with 2 blanks, or do I play Rise Again and keep my main guy alive, put a new weapon on him?
Yeah, no, that's a very good point.
Heal 5 versus heal 9, but the Rise Again, and then obviously I'm playing Indomitables as well, and it's like, yeah, so I think Law and Order would be it.
Yeah, you need them dead at some points to play the good cards. That makes sense.
Because I think you play it early anyway. As soon as they play that ancient lightsaber, yeah, pal, just Law and Order that away. Not even let you do anything with it. Like, not even get any use of it. Just get rid of it straight away.
Yeah.
Or even like, oh, okay. So you've got Force Illusion on there. Sweet, just Law and Order that away.
Yeah. Well, when I was playing Phasma, and I stuck in loads of R2P2 tech against it, and I put in 2 copies of Drop Your Weapon. And the amount of time someone would be like, "Haha, I played Pose Blaster," and straight away I'd be like, "Haha, drop it."
Yeah.
Or it's be like, "Oh, I've played a light bow. Haha, drop it," and it's just discarded. They spent their 3 resources. Okay, you have to spend 2, and it's only good at the start of the game because as soon as you lose Gary, you can't play the card anymore. But it was really impactful in those games, and it definitely felt real good discarding like an important weapon off my opponent. So I can see that it's especially in any high cost event in Palpatine is real good.
And 3-cost events are exactly the hardest thing to get out of a normal deck. If you think you're playing 3-cost upgrades, you're saving a bit of money or resolving a dice, or if you're splashing with yellow, you're playing Truce to get it out. I'd feel just as happy if I wasn't playing Palpatine and I was playing in a yellow deck and to Truce to give myself that 3rd resource to then, get rid of something like saying anything.
And if you can discard it after they've rolled out, so it removes like a nice big juicy damage dice as well.
Yeah,
that's a good feel.
So I just finished by saying that these aren't cards that I'm saying are amazing, should be played. But I'm just saying that look through the sets, look through your binders, and don't just get stuck in this trap of always playing the same shit. Like there's stuff out there that you can surprise your opponent. One thing that I was always really good at for me when I used to play Pokemon is that I never played the meta. I always built something that beat it, or that was good against the meta. So when I went to these big events, I always had these cards that, like when Darkrai was massive, I played Potion. Potion is a card that comes in every starter deck under the fucking sun. Just and it was a card that it won me more games than I can say. When we went to nationals and I put all in Shiny White, caught so many people out. And when you're playing best of ones in big tournaments, if you can catch your opponent out and be like, shit, did not see that coming, and you win the game, then that's you one step closer to the cut.
Yeah.
And you've only got to do it for that day, It's like just play something a bit spicy that's gonna, it's gonna give you that advantage.
Yeah, and 2, you have to play your teammate in day 2, and he knows that you've got that spice. But I guess for the most part, Although I suppose at our nationals we didn't really know the cards in other people's decks, but we knew what they were playing. Need to get the scouts in. If anyone wants to be my personal scout this year, let me know. I don't endorse scouting, but I totally do.
Mate, if anything's going to happen, I'm winning this year's nationals. You're going to go to Worlds and win, and I'm going to win nationals. How's it going to work? I've foreseen it.
Yeah. Well, I'm going
So he's
to.
going to win a regional. He's going to get himself up there. He's going to get a regional, feel good about himself. I'll let him have that.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to 7 regionals over the next 3 months.
Jesus.
So if I don't win one of them and I don't get my buy at nationals and I don't win nationals, I'm going to be real sad.
I'm just going to be sad. Because I'm the one travelling with you and probably not making the cut, let alone getting out and finding you.
We'll play some montage music. We'll get you there.
We'll get there. So what advice would you have, Leighton, for people that are playing all the R2P2s for this meta right now? What card comes in that no one else is playing that catches them out?
What's my advice?
Yeah.
What's your mystery card? What card?
What's your potion? What's your potion for R2P2?
What's my potion? What's my R2P2 potion? It's a good question.
You should just cheat and put intimidate in all your decks.
You can. I mean, ultimately, I just think the best thing you can do if you're going to be.
Oh, you've gone real quiet. We've lost you.
Well, now we'll never know his advice.
We'll never know. Good
Tune
job.
in next time to find out later.
No, I think to kind of go off that question, like what spice would you add to any deck to try and beat the current meta? And I don't think it's a card. I think it's a play set, right? You've got to not be worried about switching targets between R2P2 and between Rey and Poe. Like if you've sunk 3 damage into Rey, but then she gets full shields and a Force Illusion, and Poe's got his blaster on him that they've just played, just kill Poe.
Yeah, just switch it up.
So maybe what's that card? The Pursuit card then, if you're playing villain. The Relentless Pursuit, the one with
lets you move damage around.
Yeah.
Because also that could there's my spicy card, Relentless Pursuit. If they play that Force Illusion, you just relentlessly pursue 1 damage over to them, or the damage you need to get the kill.
I think it only goes through shields. I don't think it's unblockable.
No. But if damage is moved,
it's moved. Yeah, you can't illusion, can you?
No.
Oh. So so everyone look for cards that moves damage. Let's do this.
It's only up to 2, isn't it? But we'll break it.
Yeah, let's break the last 2 weeks of this meta.
Yeah, we're going to go on to TCS and destroy what's left of the Empire at War meta.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in.
16 days of it.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good time to wrap up. I think we've rambled quite long enough.
Yeah, we've been away for a while. Well, in the podcasting world, we've been away, but we've been. Danny's been streaming every week.
Yeah, every Monday, 7 p.m. GMT. Meta Mondays. Come hang out. I play Destiny. Generally, really badly, but you get to see my national champion trophy in the background, and I mention it a couple of times over the hours that I'm streaming. So come hang out.
I'm starting to do some more stuff on YouTube. I've scanned in all the alt art. You need to scan me in Gary and Mon Mothma. So
I'll do it tomorrow.
Put it in. I gave them to James. So James now has a nice guard that doesn't look like trash and all the other cards. So I still need to contact the guy who does the TTS actually to be like, here, man, here's all these, implement these into the game. But a little part of me wants to be like, no, you need to play me on TTS if you want.
if you want all these sweet alt art cards. Well, you know, we just do that for a couple of weeks and then we'll give them to Ice Cobra.
Yeah,
that's the good guys we are. But kind of on the Facebook, no, on the YouTube side of things, we are running the giveaway as well. If you go over, subscribe to our YouTube channel and drop a comment on the video, you can win all sorts of swag that Leighton has.
We've got the Star Wars Insider magazine. I've got one issue of that, so you've got your full art Captain Phasma, full art Poe. We've also got a couple of deck boxes, and then there's the 3-man meta promo, so the new Sabine and the Padawan. So there is 7 prizes up for grabs? 8 prizes up for grabs. Eight people will win. God, that's going to cost me so much on fucking postage.
I think that's something that I need to speak to you about as well. We need to make sure we got enough pad ones and Sabines for regional season. So every time, I don't know if anyone who's played us in the past, we always like to give out one of our promos as a token, so you don't leave empty-handed, because we always win.
Yeah, I've got loads of them. So
sweet.
I got a whole bunch of Sabines we've not even done anything with yet. So 50 plus Sabines. We got
baby.
Yeah, and if you don't play us, if you're not lucky enough to see Danny gloat in person, then you can always support our Patreon, and we will send you a post wherever you are in the world.
Please support the Patreon, because then I can take the fucking money from the Patreon instead of my own pocket to send the prizes away.
Would be nice. Cool. Thank you very much for listening.
Yeah, thanks.
Say goodbye, boys.
Goodbye from me.
It's a goodbye from UK national champion Danny.
And go fuck yourself.